action!
So welcome district members of District 107. Today we are going to have another amazing online session with Manuela Lanza. And you might be asking yourselves, who is Manuela Lanza? Well, I have the answer for you, and you will be very impressed, I'm sure. So Manuela Lanza is a former CNN journalist that turned into a video coach and trainer. She has 20 years experience in communication, and she now empowers entrepreneurs to speak and sell with impact in any platform and make money aligned with their purpose. And now today she's going to be here with us to share some tips, some knowledge to make us all be more able to speak with impact, to show our face on screen. So please welcome Manuela Lanza.
I have a great host. Thank you so much. And welcome everybody. Broadcasting live from my house in Montejaque, Ronda. As you can see, I have my setup ready. I have the lights on. Yes, when you don't have daylight, you need to invest in some good lighting if you want to take yourself on screen seriously. And as you can see, I have my best friend, which I brought actually all the way to the Sevilla Summit in my car because it increases the retention rate of the audience you cannot imagine. Old school. So I always bring it to my trainings as well here on screen. So I want to start, guys, straight to the point. I know you are all speakers, you're all passionate about communication and inspiring your audience. So why are you not taking your presence online as seriously as you take your presence on screen? I'll leave it there. Think about it. It's very important nowadays to accept the reality. And the reality is that we have a free window to transform so many lives, to inspire so many people. So these thoughts of, I don't look good, I don't like my face, I hate social media, I don't buy them. It's your responsibility to show up. And I want to inspire you at the end of this session to really feel like super empowered and have fun filming you, filming everybody, filming your cats, your dogs, yourself, your wife, everywhere. That's my purpose for today. So let's start with some questions. I think, Vera, we have already a few questions. I asked, what are your main challenges for not showing up on screen, or when you show up on screen?
So do you want some questions from here?
Yes, please, if you can ask the questions, because I
will. So we have one question here, and it's not the only one asking that. Question is, focusing on the little dots of the camera is one of the challenges. Keeping my eyes on the camera while also watching other faces and presenting the slides.
Totally. Actually, later I will show you, like the differences between on stage and on camera. But yes, the first challenge that we have to face when we talk to a camera is looking at the lens. And when you look at the lens, you visualize your audience. You can put even a face. So now I'm looking at the lens and I'm visualizing Vera. I don't see Vera, but I'm visualizing her face now. Okay, I'm visualizing Isidro. And thus, we have imagination. So the first tip for you would be, get used to looking at the lens, make sure you know where the lens is. Sometimes people look off camera, just make sure where the lens is and get used to it. That would be my first answer.
Okay, so now we don't have more questions, so we need to invite people again to make more questions on the chat, because Manuela will answer them all, if she knows, of course. But let's put your questions and your doubts in the chat, on the chat, okay?
Exactly, Vera. You can totally feel free to interrupt me at some point to ask me the questions, okay? So we'll start with the training, and then you can interrupt me, okay?
Perfect.
Cool. So we get this interaction, because another tip is when we are on stage, we can see people's faces. We can feel the energy, right? We need to get used to talk to a machine, to a device. You don't see people's faces. So that's why when you do online events, it's very important that you ask for feedback, make sure people are there, ask some questions, so you feel like there's somebody up there, okay? So interaction is even more important when you are doing an online event. So first, I want to talk about the benefits of showing your face on screen, because sometimes we are so focused on dramas about our brains, like all these thoughts. No, let's remind our brains what are the benefits of showing up on screen. We increase our self-confidence, because why are you not the same person on stage, online, on camera, in person? Some people are very good in one-on-one and they are scared of groups. Other people are very good on stage and they freak out with that camera. What I want for everyone, friends, clients, colleagues, everyone, is be yourself in any platform, okay? So the self-confidence, can you imagine how it will increase when you are the same person in any platform? Impact more lives. Free Window can access more lives, more transformation. You're going to inspire more your audience. You can make videos, you can create your trainings, you can do coaching, you can do courses, you can host online events. Can you imagine? The world is yours, okay? And you can make more money as well if you are an entrepreneur. Important to, to say that as well. You become a better presenter, because it's not the same presenting on camera than on stage. So you will learn how to also deliver a good speech on camera. And then more career opportunities. Can you imagine, like, for example, Justin Bieber, just to give an example, he just started to sing and play and just posted randomly videos on YouTube. Boom! Somebody saw his talent and gave him an opportunity. But if YouTube didn't exist, it would be very difficult, for example, to have Justin Bieber. This is just an example of many. So show your talent. Increases also your career opportunities. And the last one, but not least, is you get also TV gigs, right? When you, for example, Isidro, you won the world championship. Maybe I don't know, you will tell me, but maybe you had some TV station who wanted to interview you. And so people freak out, like, oh my God, the TV. Okay? And also as an entrepreneur, it's very good to appear on TV. It gives you credibility right away. You appeared on the media. So also to get used to the camera, to the journalists. And I also train people, to really deliver in the interviews, increase their self-value. So all these things, can you imagine? These are all the benefits you will get if you show your face on screen. Do we have any feedback, Vera? Because I'm seeing people typing in the chat.
You have one, but I think he is joking. I'm sure he's joking. So the question is, Justin Bieber as talent?
I was expecting that. It was the first example that popped into my mind, not judgment. Actually, don't listen to Justin Bieber, but it was just an example. But yeah, I get your point. We are not talking a musical taste. We are talking just that increases your visibility.
Okay, so no more questions until now. I will come to you when I have more questions. So for the ones who are here with us in this broadcast today, if you have any questions, please write them on the chat.
Okay, now we get to the meat of the training. But before we get into the meat of the training, I would like to do an evaluation as we do in Toastmasters. And I'm daring to evaluate 3 mind-blowing speakers who recently appeared online, which are Isidro, Leroy, and Percy. I'm digging myself into a hole now, but I'm brave. So I wanted to give you the 3-2-1 strategy that I learned from, I learned in Malaga, okay, from my mates there, the 3-2-1, not the sandwich one. So 3 things that I loved, 2 things that can be improved, and 1 thing that I take away, okay? Are you ready for this, Vera?
I am, and I'm pretty sure that at least Isidro is waiting for that also, and Percy is here with us also. So
Percy, oh my God, I'm so glad that Percy came because he gave me permission to say something about that you will learn later. So 3 things that I absolutely loved. First one, Isidro, calling every single person at the beginning of the event. That was awesome, man, because in that way you make sure nobody's eating, nobody's going to the kitchen, nobody is listening to you like a radio station doing other stuff. That is our main challenge when we do online, that people are not fully present. So you were calling us one by one, and that was freaking awesome. Congratulations. Great. Then Leroy, I loved how he was creating this cozy vibe on his sofa, this kind of romantic lighting that he did. And he just created like this sensation. We were right there with him in his living room. Awesome. We can create these things. We don't need expensive equipment. And Percy, I love how he was with his present frame, actually, as I am right now, standing up. And that increased the impact of his delivery because he was showing his hands. I always say, frame yourself for impact. As you all know, body language is so important. And if we are talking like this, blah, 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 I mean, do I have more impact? I'm a floating head, and I see so many floating heads in the social media, amazing speakers like this on my feed, and it just hurts my eyes, right? So Percy, awesome. So I already gave you 3 things that I love, and now 2 things for improvement, okay? So for example, when we do presentations on Zoom, as soon as we put the slide, we become a tiny screen in the corner. So we need to be aware of that. And if we want to use slides, as you can see, I use my board because I want to be on screen all the time. I want to, to keep the flow of energy going, and people need to keep concentrate to see you in your face and your energy. Otherwise, they click to another website, they go to the kitchen to eat pasta, whatever. So at some point, Percy, you were giving amazing and super powerful quotes and conclusion, and I missed you coming back more often. If you watch TV, for example, the presenters of the news, they talk, then they put the news, and then they come back, and then they put the news, and then they come back again. Why is that? To increase engagement. So if you use the slides and then you leave, and then you stay down, that decreases engagement, okay? Sorry, you were saying something?
I don't think so. You can continue. We are
cool.
really engaged.
Yes, so that's the first for improvement. And of course, guys, I'm not just telling this to Percy. As you all know, we all learn from this evaluation. So take away what works for you, what resonates for you. And then the second one, of course, lights. Lights, either, all the lights I saw from 3 speakers are normal lights, okay, of the house is okay. But if you are in a point that you really want to take this seriously because you want to do trainings, courses, host meetings, and create videos, and not always relying on natural light, is very important you invest in lighting, because when we are on screen, the light is super important, very important. So also think about that. If you don't have artificial light yet, make sure at least you have some strong light that we can see you, because if you are dark, again, you decrease your impact. Okay, so, and one thing I take away, okay, was, because I really enjoyed it, how Leroy I don't have that now, but he was like, as am I using this piece of paper, he was using like small pieces of paper, like a couple. He said me versus them to kind of illustrate the point that, you know, we need to partner up with the audience, right? Not like, I want to give all this knowledge, but I don't understand what they want. No, first understand what they want and then give your message. So what he was using just those two pieces of paper, and I like to get creative in my presentations. So I always use prompts, and they don't always have to be like super heavy with information, all this presentation that people really don't digest. In the end, what the audience remembers is how you make them feel more than all the content. So I take away using these pieces of paper. I will use them in my videos. It's very original and creative. So do we have any feedback from you guys until now? Anything you want to ask?
You know, Manuela, I think that you are being so engaging and we are so focused on you that we don't have time to think. So no questions until now.
Okay, but feel free somebody to interrupt me if you have a burning question, okay? Now we're gonna get to the meat. The meat is, we need to understand the differences on stage and on screen. Once we know the differences, we can prepare ourselves. So now I do need your interaction because I'm a coach also, and I don't like to give you all the information like this easy. I want you to think now. That's part of the training, using your own brain. So before I give you the information, I need you to think now. So let's do an evaluation together. Okay, guys? Let's start with body language. Okay? What do you think is the main difference? Body language on stage and body language on screen. What is the main difference? Body language. How can we have more impact in our body language on stage and on screen?
Well,
On the stage.
Okay, so now
on
we
stage, of course.
I think that Isidro, will you go?
Isidro?
Yeah, I was saying on stage, while competing, I felt very limited online. So on stage, you have several possibilities to emphasize your message with your body language, your hands, even your more than your upper body.
I think Ana Loreda was trying to make a question also. Ana?
Sure. Do we have a question?
Oh, maybe no. If you want, Ana,
Okay.
please.
I'll follow up with Isidro. Yes, Isidro, but still, what is the main difference? We compare body language on stage and body language on screen.
É quando quiser. É para almoçar, sim. Está bem.
Para fazer assado no forno e fazes com os palhetes.
Oh my God.
If you can mute yourself, if you're not asking a question, that would be great.
Okay, we have some questions, some ideas here. The framing make difference, Diogo says, and Remy is writing here on the chat, on stage, more room to move. On screen, you are more restricted to the space covered by the camera.
Okay, so on stage, we have more room. Great, what else? So can you repeat?
Yes, on screen, you are more restricted to the space covered by the camera.
Totally. Who said that?
Remy.
Amiga mía. Yes. Well, did she say something else? I think I heard something else.
On stage, more room to move.
Okay, so more room to move. Perfect. So we have more room to move when we are on stage, and when we are on camera, of course, we need to consider the framing. That's the main thing to think about, guys. Framing. Okay, so how you frame yourself is key. Like now, I know I'm framed in a way, I can use my gestures, I can communicate with my body, You don't see, the good thing though, you don't see I'm wearing this right now, which is great, okay? That's a good thing about broadcasting for your house. But yes, and another very important thing to add, instantly the audience sees the whole of you, like instant. You go on stage, boom. There is like an eagle's view, everybody can see you. Okay, so it's like the visibility, you know, instant visibility, I would say. And then on screen, exactly, framing. We need to first think about the framing. Great. Then visual contact, main differences on stage and on screen. Visual contact.
I think that on screen, you can make a more efficient eye contact, because you will be looking on the eyes of someone who is on the other side of the screen.
Nice one, Vera. Of course, you need to train how to look at the camera and seduce the camera, but you can do it. And emotionally, if somebody sees you on screen and you look deep into the lens, you can get, depending on what you say as well, get deeper into people's emotions, because your eyes are, as you say, closer. So that's a good thing that we can do when we are online, depending if we are communicating. Of course, this is more maybe for videos that you can play more. Today, we are going to focus more on online events. But of course, in terms of recorded video, it would be like a different training that I do, because then you become the director of your whole movie and you can do so many things with video. But moving back, yes, look straight. And what about the audience? So
I have
yeah.
here, Manuela, one, I think it's a nice way of looking at this also. On stage, eye contact. On screen, focus on camera.
How do you mean on stage eye contact?
Giovanni can help me if you want. And
of course, nice to meet you. I think that when you are in the stage, you can look at the eyes of the people. When you are on the screen, you have to look to the camera. But what was happening to me in this moment, I look to you, then I look to my camera. It's more difficult. It's very important to look directly to the camera, only to the camera.
Totally. So on stage, we look at the audience, okay? And then as we learn in Toastmasters, we spread the visual contact, right? We go one side, then we look to another side in order to make sure we are connecting with everyone there, right? We can do that. But as you said, on screen, you need to understand where the lens is, and also stay there. Like, for example, now, I'm looking always at the lens. I'm not getting distracted and looking at you guys. I'm looking at the lens because it's there where you're looking at me. So another mistake people make when they do online events, they look at the screen, so they are off camera. And to increase your impact, you always look at the lens, because the lens is how people see you. You know what I mean? So great thinking, and that's another thing to consider, okay? What about the voice? What about our voice on stage and on screen? Look at me right now.
I'm looking for some answers or some ideas.
The voice, how we project the voice, how people listen to us on stage and on screen.
I guess on the screen is, if you have the right mic, you are better heard. It's much more easier to project. On the stage, you have to use your, or your abdominal, your air and everything to be able to reach far into the audience.
Great thinking, exactly. So now I'm indoors. To avoid echo, I need a microphone. People always record themselves with echo indoors, and it doesn't do you justice at all. You can get away if you record yourself without a microphone outdoors. in the street, if it's not noisy or windy. The sound is way better. So if you don't have a microphone, I recommend to go outside to record your videos, not in the house. But of course, invest in a good microphone, again, if you want to take yourself seriously on screen. And the big difference is that when we're on stage, we can project our voice. We can still project our voice with the microphone, but we have to be careful not to do it too close. Otherwise, it pops. So that's also really bad. So we have to understand this thing, that when we are on screen, we need a microphone to be professional and to be heard. And we are on stage, unless it's a big speaking gig with so many people, of course you will have a microphone, but normally on Toastmasters, we don't. That's why when I have my speeches, I always bring it, because I want to record my videos for my personal brand, my socials, with good quality, okay? So
Manuela,
yeah.
I think we have one question here from Anna.
I have one question related to the visual contact. When you are on the screen and you say, of course, you have to keep your eyes on the camera, but then how do you follow the impact you're producing? It's my dog, sorry. The impact you're producing in the audience, because you don't see them, because you're looking at the. If I look at you, I cannot look at the camera at the same time. How do you manage that?
That's an amazing question. That's an amazing question. And I'm so glad you asked this question, because that shows you really care, right? You really care about your audience, and also, why am I doing all this, right? Because the whole point is what I call to increase our conversion rate. Conversion rate would be either more, more followers, or more people reaching out, more clients, or just people saying, thank you. Wow, I love that video. So how do you know? You show up in that moment. You cannot get the instant gratification you get on stage. You finish on stage, everybody evaluates you, tells you, oh, amazing speech. No, this requires more mindset work, because sometimes you don't see the results instantly, right? And as human beings, we want always to get the result quickly, but on camera work, you see them later. So it requires so much self-confidence, because sometimes they come later. You get this feedback later. And I tell you an example, okay? Last year, there is a TV show called Speaker Talent, and I participated, and I reached the semifinals. And I spoke about my mother's death and about a tinnitus, which is a sound that I have in my ear, and how I healed from this, because it came when my mother died, and it was the worst time of my life. And I made a speech about that. And at the end, I say these words: do you want to be the hero or the victim of your life? I decide to be the hero. Something like that, I don't remember. Something in those lines, man. Oh, I posted the video 3 months ago, and now I get people's feedback saying, wow, this video changed the game for me. Thank you so much. It was so inspiring. So answering your question, you've got to be willing to give value, show up, and detach from the result. Are you willing to do that?
Yes, and it's a great answer, and it works very good with the videos. But what about online training? When you're doing online training, I really need to make sure that people is following. You see what?
Actually, you made a very good point, because if you didn't ask, I was going to tell you, yes, because I focused on video. So online training, what I'm doing right now, I'm doing, and then I'm stopping, and I'm asking for feedback, for question, and then I keep talking. So you need to check in with your audience more often. And of course, if you are in your laptop, you can also handle the chat, but my advice would be to partner up with somebody, like as me now with Vera. So, you can keep, because you need to be focused on the content you're delivering, and somebody can also take care of the chat and, co-host the event with you. But yes, you need to check in with your audience. Otherwise, it feels like a monologue, and also you don't understand the impact you're having. You need to ask. And also another thing that I did in my last workshop, because I do workshops, of course, to sell my program. And I was doing a workshop, and then I said at the end, if you want to join, I have my Speaking Lions program next month for entrepreneurs. And I was seeing the guy's face during my training, so engaged. I could see his face. So sometimes also, if you have the people's faces on your screen, you can see some of them, depends on how many people. So my two advices would be, check people's faces once in a while. If you put them on your screen, get somebody to help you with the chat and get in their interaction. Once in a while, stop and get in their interaction, feedback.
Okay.
Does that feel complete, or are you visualizing this in your work?
Yeah, thank you very much. Very useful. Yes.
Also, I hope you go there and rock on screen.
And now to our correspondent on Lisbon, Isidro Souza, who has a question.
I want questions.
Well, it's quite related with that. When the pandemic came, everybody gave us advice to always look to the camera, okay? But in my case, I decided not to, but it's a conscious decision because I need instant feedback to react to that feedback. When I make a joke, I want to see if people is laughing. Yes. So my question for you is, when we are in a room, in presence, we are looking to this person, that person, we are spreading our look, right? So what if I'm speaking, looking to the screen to see people, and from time to time I look to the camera? It would not make the same effect. Let's say the camera is you. Now I'm looking to Vera, and then I'm looking to Giovanni, and now I'm looking to you. Is that so weird? I don't know. It's a question.
Yes, Isidro. Just to make sure I understand your question, can you reframe? This is a technique actually we journalists and coaches do. When somebody asks a question and it's super long, for example, for interviews, normally we ask, can you repeat this thought in just one sentence?
Yeah. Do you think, of course, what is recommended is looking to the camera. Do you think that it is bad to take the camera as a person and looking from time to time to other people and looking to the camera from time to time?
But one moment, let me visualize this situation. Are you talking about you hosting an online event with more people physically with you? Or
No.
Like
Just
people are online, like you see them in the windows.
Yeah.
So you're saying that if it's okay to look at the lens and then look at them like in the windows and then look at the lens back?
Yes.
Sure.
It's a question.
Sure. I wanted to make sure I understood your question before replying, just to have clarity. But yeah, definitely. I do that during my workshop. I was saying before, I was doing this workshop, and sometimes I was looking at the people, but just make sure you come back. The same as the slides. When you put slides and you become small, make sure you come back. That you don't stay looking at the people, or you don't, So of course, yeah, definitely, because of course you need to see people's feedback. It's great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Do we have more questions?
Not for now.
I have one actually. Hi.
Or at least we have.
Hey, Percy, I recognize
Hey,
that
Manuela. I'm not sure if this is the right moment, but I want to follow up on what Isidro just said about, or what you just said in his reply about slides. I mean, I love seeing the old flip chart there. That used to be my thing, and my mentor, even back in the day, he was a huge fan of it. He called it old man's PowerPoint. And I do find it's for, especially if you're a facilitator, it is so much better than PowerPoint. But leaving that aside, what would you say is the best of all the bad ways of using slides in Zoom? What would you say is the best way? Background, sharing screen, having it in the corner somewhere. And I do get your point about coming back, but sometimes it's not so easy because you have to stop sharing screen. Sometimes if you don't have the, you might need the Zoom master to do it for you. So that's not so easy. So what would you say is the best of all the ways of using slides in Zoom?
Totally. Before I answer that question, just a clarifying question. What's your purpose when you use those slides? So what's the purpose for doing a presentation for you on Zoom?
Either to clarify a point visually, it's the same purpose that we would use slides in face-to-face meeting. Exactly the same purpose, either to clarify a point that you're making with visual aids, or sometimes for storytelling purposes or even for humorous purposes. It can also work.
Perfect. Yeah. So thank you for clarifying. There are different ways and there's not right or wrong, because in the end, it's all about testing how you feel, what works, what doesn't, and come back into action. But from my experience, okay, what I do is, if you can get somebody to partner up with you, so, as I said, you are focused on your speech and that person can co-host with you and can put the slides and then, put the slides away so you appear on screen, because I know if you're on your own, it's difficult to come back, and that's why I don't do slides, because I don't want to the technology interfere in my speech. But first tip would be to partner up with somebody. As I'm partnering up with Vera, with the chat and everything, that would be the first, okay? Then the second one would be when you are doing the slides, okay? Imagine you are a radio host, which means since you are in a small little window, so your presence loses impact, increase the impact of your voice as radio hosts do, like the modulation, the ups and downs, and also make this dance between the modulation of your voice and the visuals. So it becomes, like a movie, like a voiceover, as you see these videos, like the voiceover and the images. So you become that, a very good voiceover, like you are a radio host. That would be my second tip. How is this landing on you, my friend? I don't know, but I don't see your reaction.
I think Percy is thinking about what you just said.
No, I was going to type a reply because I don't want to. I think usually it's better if you use the chat. But no, I really like what you just said about imagine that you're a radio host while you're using the slides. That is something I will remember. That's really a nugget I'm taking from your training. That's very good. Thanks.
Thank you. I'm so glad, because I know you are. I love all your presentations, and I know it's challenging online. So exactly, I'm not saying everybody should use this. Of course, you can do the presentations, but definitely, yeah, really seduce with your voice and the visuals. And you know what really helps as well? To watch videos on people, like they do that very, very well. Like the voice matches the visual, and even you can include music if you get even more creative in the visual, the music, and the voice. So that would be, of course, a piece of art, but it can be possible. The more creative you get, the most fun you have, and the better experience you will give to your audience. So yeah, I hope it helps. Do we have more questions?
Not for now.
It is not a question, but I have it's a suggestion and a question as well. We had Carol Bowser in our session of Winners Academy, and I had seen it before, but it was in the glance. Carol Bowser used immerse presentations. It means she was inside the PowerPoint. So like you are right now, your flip chart could be your PowerPoint, and you are inside the PowerPoint. You make your PowerPoint just this side, okay? What you want to write, just this side, and you are immersed. And it works better if you have a green background. So as far as I saw online after that, and I even bought a background, a green background, but it's smaller than I thought, so I didn't use it. It is great because you are in good framing right now, but it could be completely digital, and it would be great. You could change, and you would change your flip chart digitally. It would be amazing.
Wow, Isidro, that's the next level. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, guys. That's the next level. It sounds freaking awesome. I would definitely.
Carol Bowser, I watched.
Can I just say that is what I did last week, but I did it very badly because I only just discovered that feature and didn't have time to experiment with it, and I don't have a green screen. But that was what I was asking, if you have experience with the different ways, and I didn't even realize how many ways there are on Zoom to use visual aids to incorporate them. I like this idea of appearing in your slides, but that takes framing to the next level, because where do you have the background and where are you? So it's not easy. So I think what you're saying, imagine yourself as a radio host. Basically, just imagine that for this short period of time, you're sharing your screen and you are not visible. So people just see the screen and they hear your words. And then, yes, you have to come back at some point, get rid of the slides and be back on their screen. I think that's the best approach.
Yeah.
Totally. But yeah, Isidro, thank you for mentioning that, because it's super interesting. And I will definitely look into that, because of course, it's the same as we do in TV, no? We have this green screen, or in the movies, right? And then you can place whatever you want. So that would be a very good investment, again, if you really want to, skyrocket your online presence, to invest in a green screen, good light. So basically, guys, the whole idea here is that, do you want to do this? Do you want to really improve at this as the same skill as public speaking, also video and live events? Boom, invest in your skills and invest in your equipment, because that will be freaking awesome. And actually, I will look into that, and yeah, we should explore it. It feels amazing. And yes, about the radio host, that's great for now. If you don't want to invest in a green screen, okay? So yeah, and also think that when you become small, people, like now, for example, I'm sure many people are clicking away, they're going somewhere, they're going to the kitchen. It's very easy to get distracted. So with your voice, engage. And you know how to do that, because I'm your biggest fan. Great. So yeah, guys, let's wrap up, okay? Any more questions before I wrap up? Vera?
No, you can continue.
Perfect. So, okay, before I finish, because we're going into a very interesting conversation, but yes, actually the first one, the next one was the prompts. So we already talked about that, visual aid. And the last one, exactly, what I want to talk about here, just to finish this comparison, is the retention rate. Right now, I'm talking to you and I'm seeing people are leaving. Right now, I'm talking, and I already saw 3 people leaving Zoom. Do I let that affect the quality of my work and my confidence? No. Can people do that while you are speaking on stage? Very difficult. Very difficult. They, at least, okay, they can be rude and stand and go, or they can watch their telephone, but normally the retention rate we have in public speaking is higher. The retention rate we have online is lower. What does it mean? When you make a video, your intro doesn't have to be engaging. it has to be mind-blowing, because otherwise they keep scrolling. And in online events as well, when you start your online event, you have to say something to engage so people have a, or do what Isidro did to call everybody, right? So be aware of this, because don't think that if you inspire people on stage, you also will inspire people online. You will, but bear in mind that your engagement has to increase. Totally. And we have 8 seconds attention span on social media, which means if you don't give them a compelling reason to keep watching, they will go away in 8 seconds. So that's very important to know as well, guys, when you want to make an impact online. But when you go 8 seconds, actually, before we finish, I would love to give you a table topic of 8 seconds. Who's gonna take it?
I have a question that is a practical one. So do you want me to share the tips now or in the end? Can I share them now?
Ah, the checklist.
Yes.
Yes, please. Yeah. You can share the
Doing it
list.
right now.
Yeah. So Vera is gonna share a checklist that I made with all the things you have to consider before broadcasting live, because we didn't have time to talk about all of that, right? So I'm giving this free gift for you. So before you go to an online event, you can take this checklist, print it out, and go check, 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 check. Okay? I recommend to watch, guys, this checklist 1 hour before. Always have 1 hour preparation before the event. So yeah, I hope you find this checklist helpful. And yes, who wants to take the challenge? It's gonna be 8 seconds. Table topic. I cannot.
Can I do it?
Yes, you can.
I will be the first one and then someone will follow me.
Awesome, Vera. So think about a message you want to transmit. We also need a timer. Isidro, can you time Vera 8 seconds, please? Are you there?
Is.
So, Vera, think about a message, but you need to give us a compelling reason to keep watching you in 8 seconds, which means you really need to pitch, sell your message to give us a reason to keep listening to you in 8 seconds. So I would give you a moment to take a deep breath. And whenever our timer is ready, he would say, go. Whenever you want, Isidro, you can start the 8 seconds timer and then stop her. Are you ready, Isidro?
Is. So I'm ready also. So do you want to improve? Do you really want to improve? If you want, be with us because you will receive lots of feedback. That's the best way, you know, I know everyone knows, to improve. So stay with us.
Oh yeah, great.
More than 20 seconds.
You didn't stop me.
Yeah, but I wanted to let you go.
How long? How long?
Can I-
What?
More than 20 seconds.
More than 20 seconds.
When she reached 10, I stopped, but then I let her go away. But can I say something about that? There was an ad from eToro. eToro is a broker platform performed by Alec Baldwin. And every single time I was watching YouTube, that ad appeared, I watched it until the end. because it was so catchy since the beginning. I don't remember the beginning, but it was so catchy. The 5 seconds, it hooked me. Yeah.
Totally. Why do you think is that?
I think he said something like, hey, don't skip yet, or something like that. And it was joking.
It was his voice. It was more than anything his voice. I mean, he did that so beautifully. It was naughty. It was catchy. It's something only he could do, I think. But yes, I remember that vividly. It was, I always skip adverts. I must have watched that 10 times. It was brilliant.
Percy, it's the same one when he said that I have a plane to catch, and then they throw a plane, it catches and said, I got it. It's the same one, right?
But he did more than one, because he also, I remember the one where he folded laundry. Did you watch that one?
Oh no, laundry, I don't remember.
Oh, that was even better. But it was his use of voice. The moment he speaks, you are like, well, hang on a minute, I need to listen to this.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's great. So it was the voice, it was the no, don't keep scrolling. Like it was the whole kind of, we call it a bit theater that you make to, to catch people's attention. So implementing your thoughts just now about this example. Percy, you want to give it a try? 8 seconds.
Sure. You tell me when to start.
Vera, you're going to be the timer. So let
Okay. Let me get ready. You can start.
So it was supposed to be a message, right?
Yeah, so a message, but more like, okay, the question is this, guys.
It's a hook.
Why should we listen to you? Like, give us a reason to keep listening. That's the idea.
Okay.
You can start.
Sure. You are all going to die. Maybe next year, maybe tomorrow, but I can give you a reason to stay alive.
Oh my God, 9 seconds.
That was a hook. Exactly. We need a hook. A hook. That was a great hook, Percy.
Wonderful.
Great job. We don't need to tell people they're going to die, but for example, I give you what I do normally to engage in my videos. That is like, in the end, we are selling. Okay, we are selling people to stay. So normally, for example, I get transformations that I had, right? And people maybe want to have like something interesting about me, my results. So for example, how did I go from earning €0 to 50,000 euros in 1 year? If you stay, I will let you know how. So you start with something like, how did the fuck she did that? Or like, wow, what is that? Like you really want to create this, what the fuck? Like you're going to die, or wow. So you really want to create this surprise that people are like, what? So when we do mainly videos now, because it's so saturated, but when we do also online, but I would use more this for video. Think about that, guys. I don't know how many of you want to create videos, but I encourage you to be more into a selling mindset, why people should keep watching when they only have 8 seconds. Okay? So to wrap up, I just want to give you some tips on how to be a better presenter. Because we talk about being speakers, being on stage, public speaking, but it's also nice to kind of go like into the presenter mindset. And I was having this conversation with Percy the other day that he was sharing with me a presenter, a TV host that he really liked, right, and admired. So it's also very nice to kind of see TV hosts that you admire and see the, what you can learn from them in terms of how they manage their communication skills on screen. So the first thing I would tell you is film your face off, like as much as you can. And if you're not ready to post yet, what I always recommend to my students is do IG stories. They go away in 24 hours, they disappear, they don't stay anywhere, right? So the best training would be to do IG stories. If you are not on Instagram, YouTube, I know they have stories, TikTok, I don't know if many of you are into TikTok. I know many of you are on LinkedIn. I don't know if LinkedIn lets this option of stories, to be honest. But if not, just go on Instagram and practice. Doesn't matter the followers. Just get used to see your face on screen as much as you can, because the camera is your best friend. So I want you to become best friends with the camera. Then don't think about others, don't judge others, don't get intimidated by others. That's the first limiting belief that I always work to help people to overcome. It's like, doesn't matter what other people do. You are you. Let's find who you are and transmit that person on screen. From your authenticity, that's another tip that I give you. Don't look at people. Don't criticize people. Don't put people on pedestals, because you don't know their journeys. You just know your journey. And that's what matters, okay? Normalize watching you on screen, which means record videos of yourself and watch them. Get used to it, to watch yourself until you normalize it. The same you normalize being on stage. Film your speeches. The other day, I gave a speech at the Achievers about money, and I filmed myself while I was rehearsing. And then you can use that for your social media, your personal brand, and then film your speech while you're giving the speech. And this is self-work. It can help you improve. It's like a mirror of yourself. It's a reflection. It catches absolutely everything. And I also do video work, not just for selling and communication. I also do video work for self-confidence, to help people to increase their self-confidence and self-value. Because why do you don't like your face on camera? There's a lot of work to do in terms of mindset. So this is gonna heal you. Always say the camera work will heal your soul, because it's a mirror of who you are. Post, don't leave all these videos out there. They used to also post them once in a while and see how you can connect with the audience through your messages. Then get feedback. As we do in Toastmasters, right? We get feedback. So also get feedback and get trained on how to perform better on video, okay? You can hire a video coach. You can invest in some training, but invest also in your video skills, okay? And also you have the example of Toastmasters. We are practicing and getting feedback, practicing and getting feedback. And of course, let me help you if you want. I'm here, I'm an expert in this, and I will be more than happy to help you out. So with this, I finished. I hope you enjoyed this training, and I'm gonna give space for last takeaways. I would love to know what are your main takeaways from this session, because it's very important to reflect, what do I take away? I know already Persis, but it's nice to know from all this time that we shared together, what is your main takeaway, if you could choose just one thing?
I think either we can use the chat, or we can just turn on our mic and share with Manuela what is our main takeaway.
The takeaway is like the main benefit we get from the session, something that you will, boom, start applying differently, or some shift in your thinking that you go like, no, okay, I would change my actions. I will try something new. Like, it could be anything. You can leave it in the chat, you can tell me.
I would
love your feedback.
I
think Anna wants to share something.
Yes, I would say something very important that you said, that start recording yourself and watching yourself. I normally hate to watch myself. I like to give speeches. Are you looking at me like that? But you have the discipline to watch after, yeah. I think
Yes,
that's an important point. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, Anna, you warm my heart. Now I'm getting your feedback because you do your best to give value, and now is the moment actually when you ask for the takeaways. That's the best way actually to get feedback from your audience, like you are doing with me right now. So I know, as we say in Spanish, what I said no ha ido a saco roto, no? Like
No.
my words really stayed with you. So yes, get used to. And also I saw Isidro who says, I have a new friend, the camera. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
Actually, it was Giovanni,
it
but
was Giovanni.
sorry. I'm not wearing my, because another thing, guys, I'm not wearing my glasses because if I wear them, I don't know where they are. Here, look. If I wear them, look what happens. That's another tip. You see the reflection
yes.
of the light? But of course, it depends on the person. But yeah. So yes, thank you for the takeaway, Giovanni, Isidro, Percy. Please give me your takeaways so I can sleep tonight. Okay?
Let me turn on my lights. Can you see me better? And it's not reflecting because I have them like this instead of. But Manuela, why I didn't say anything about the takeaways, because it was so mind-blowing in Sevilla when you gave us this similar workshop. It was refreshing for me. Okay, at that point it was whoa, and now it was some kind of refreshment. But what Percy said, it's that you said, I didn't want to steal his takeaway, but it's true. That's what I do. I'm presenting, and I'm a tiny square in the right bottom of the screen. And maybe if I shut myself off like a radio, as you said, it's a great idea. Or as Carol Bowser did, immersive inside the presentation itself. Yeah, that's the main takeaways that I will take from this.
Thank you, Silvia. Thank you for your feedback about my first workshop. That's the thing, you know, when you do workshops or coaching or trainings, it all comes to the sensation people have. And then it's like when you eat a very delicious dish and then you come back to the same restaurant, it doesn't have the same flavor. And every moment is unique. And I feel like we can get value, you know, in every single moment. So I treasure your feedback from my first workshop at Toastmasters, and I treasure your feedback from now, like from you. And I hope you will feel again more empowered to show on screen. Maybe I will see you on LinkedIn or in your favorite platform. I hope so. To inspire you to show more, because you're an amazing, amazing speaker, and I feel so inspired by you.
Same here. It's a mirror.
And I shared an Airbnb with you.
Yes. In Seville.
Experience.
Wonderful experience. Yes, that's what Toastmasters is. It's Toastmasters is also these things like that.
About sharing,
Yes.
not only speeches and learning and skills, but also an Airbnb. So
To be honest, have a look at the checklist, because I put many things that I didn't say today because I wanted to keep it light and not like, and also compare public speaking and on screen and stuff. But in that checklist, honestly, I did my best to summarize every single step. So have a look, and if you have any questions, let me know, okay? About the checklist.
Okay.
And
I have lots of takeaways here with me. I don't know if anyone wants to add anything else, but I have here your first sentences that was something like this: be yourself in any platform. And for me, that is very important because you can be authentic in any platform. And I think even if you have to work a lot and develop yourself a lot, I also think that you need to be yourself. So for me, that was the main takeaway, besides a lot of any other tips that I have here and that I will for sure add to my experience and to my trainings and to my life as someone who shows her face on screen. So Manuela, I think that it was an amazing online session. I'm really thankful for your time and your availability and your willingness to share all your knowledge with us. So for sure, Toastmasters is a very special platform. Toastmasters is an amazing way of learning and sharing, and we are very lucky to have so many interesting people around us. So Manuela, thank you so much again for your time. For sure, we will come back again with more challenges for you, and I'm pretty sure that you will say yes. So thank you so much for this dynamic and energetic workshop with lots of treasures, always learning. So this is not my takeaway, this is Diogo Beja takeaway. As you can see, there are lots of people here sharing with you what they have learned from you. So thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for your time, for all I also learn every time I do these sessions, and it has been really a pleasure. And I was thinking perhaps for the future, if you have any interest, we could also do like storytelling for video, TV gigs, like media interviews. There are so many amazing things you can do, because the communication craft, you all got it. Right? We all know how to communicate. It's just to readjust in different scenarios. So this is just the beginning. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you on stage and on screen and in person.
That's the perfect way to finish this session. Thank you so much. See you soon, and we will have lots of online sessions with Manuela, I'm pretty sure. Thank you. Bye-bye.